Good afternoon, Minister of Finance, special guests, colleagues, members of the Fintech Business Unit, Business Development Unit, and Business Development Agency. For 2 years, this government has worked to diversify our economy and bring new streams of economic activity to Bermuda. One of the avenues for economic diversification has been to build on the strength Bermuda has in financial services to establish a fintech ecosystem that is best in class, which would attract fintech companies to domicile in Bermuda. Our goal is to drive businesses to establish a physical presence in Bermuda and drive jobs and economic impact for Bermudians. This is not a simple process. Companies need to be sold on why Bermuda is the right fit for their business. They need to incorporate, apply for a license, and demonstrate that they meet the Bermuda Monetary Authority's high standards for managing risk in alignment with our Digital Asset Business Act. Only then are they likely to make the investment to establish a physical presence and to create jobs in Bermuda. As a result of our efforts, companies are applying for licenses. Co-working spaces have emerged. Several conferences have been hosted in Bermuda, and the awareness of Bermuda as a home for blue-chip fintech companies is increasing. To date, 7 companies have established offices in Bermuda. 12 work permits have been approved for key stakeholders to start building their businesses, and 7 Bermudians have been employed so far. 20 months after we launched our blockchain task force, there is now a general acceptance in Bermuda that fintech will be one of the drivers to grow our economy in the near term. At the same time, we have invested heavily in training Bermudians to prepare themselves for the opportunities that are being created. We have offered a wide range of training courses, boot camps, certification programs, as well as free online training that is available to all Bermudians. However, with all of that said, you are not here today for just a simple status update. Though there has been criticism from many quarters, this government has never taken its eye off the ball. And as we are 10 days away from cut match, the saying, stick to the wicket and the runs will come, could not be more appropriate. As you see, I am not alone at the podium today, and I'd wish to extend a special welcome to Bermuda, our partners from Circle, Mr. Jeremy Allaire, Sean Neville, and Gus Cautabella. It is great to have you here today. Members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, as a result of their confidence in Bermuda's high regulatory standards, our level of sophistication, and our business development efforts, I am pleased to announce that Circle is the latest company to achieve a digital asset business license issued this morning by the Bermuda Monetary Authority, with the intent of establishing Bermuda as the headquarters for its international operations for clients outside of the United States. Circle is a global crypto financial services company founded by Mr. Jeremy Allaire and Mr. Sean Neville. Circle offers individuals, institutions, and entrepreneurs a digital asset platform to trade, invest, and raise capital. Circle is a new kind of financial services company backed by top-tier institutions, including Goldman Sachs, and is one of 39 fintech unicorns in the world, valued at over $1 billion. Circle was founded in 2013 on the belief that open blockchain technologies would replace the world's closed, proprietary financial systems, allowing everyone, everywhere to participate in an economy that is fairer, more inclusive, and more accessible. Circle was one of the key opportunities that developed out of my trip to Davos this past January. One of my objectives when I was at the World Economic Forum was to meet Jeremy Allaire, to speak to him personally, and to let him know that Bermuda was a place he should consider. We exchanged information then, we followed up, his team investigated, and in the spring, his team came to visit us here in Bermuda. Today, we have now arrived at the licensing stage. I am grateful that I had the opportunity to meet Jeremy and convince him that Bermuda should be on his radar. In recent months, through the dedicated effort of our fintech team who is here today, the Bermuda Business Development Agency, the Bermuda Monetary Authority, and officials at the Ministry of Finance, we succeeded in convincing Jeremy and Sean that Bermuda was the jurisdiction that best fit their company's vision for global expansion. As a result, Jeremy has not only committed to establishing a presence in Bermuda, but he has also become a true ambassador for what we've achieved with our Digital Asset Business Act and Bermuda's top-tier regulatory framework, and has been selling others on why they too should come here to Bermuda. Circle's ethos is consistent with the goals, aims, and objectives of this government. We envision a Bermuda that is fair, inclusive, accessible, and where every Bermudian has an opportunity to earn a living, get a good job, build a career, develop a business, and grow wealth, regardless of their personal circumstances. This is a proud day for this government, and I want to ensure the people of Bermuda that this is just the beginning. Circle will start recruiting for positions immediately, and I'm looking forward to working with them, not only to grow their international operations, but as we look to make financial services work better in Bermuda for those people who call this island home. I have always said that we are committed to transforming this country, and Jeremy, Sean, and Gus, I am thrilled to have you as our latest partners on this mission. I now have the honor of presenting officially the Digital Asset Business License issued by the Bermuda Monetary Authority this morning to Jeremy Allaire, the co-founder, chairman, and CEO of Circle, and after that, he will come to the podium to say a few words. Thank you. Yeah. All right. Now, just as a note, we're going to make sure that sometime in the near future, these are issued in digital form, but we have the old paper ones. Ready?
Thank you so much.
No problem, my friend. It's an absolute pleasure.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Really appreciate the hospitality of the Bermuda government. I want to, first praise Premier Burt on really his leadership in establishing Bermuda as a center of excellence in this emerging arena of digital assets and the transformation that it portends to bring on the entire world. As Premier Burt mentioned, we had a meeting very early in the year, and that was a really critical turning point. As a company, we've been building a global business in this digital asset area for almost 6 years, and it was very clear to us that the world was moving very, very fast. The innovation that was happening with digital assets, with cryptocurrencies and blockchain technology was moving at an incredible pace. And while we are already very well established and regulated as a financial institution in the United States and in the European economic area, the opportunity with digital assets is broader and more global, and we wanted to find a home for our ultimate international operations and expansion. And we'll talk in a minute a little bit more about why we chose Bermuda. I think I also just want to initially thank all of the different parts of the government that have been very, very helpful in this process: the Bermuda Business Development Authority, the Fintech Business Unit, the Minister of Finance and his team, and of course the interaction that we've had with the Bermuda Monetary Authority. As mentioned, we met in early January. We came here in April, and we had intensive meetings with the government, and we outlined in detail our future business plans and the current operations of the company, and really wanted to understand how the Class F license of the Digital Asset Business Act would apply to our business and allow us to expand. What we learned was that this was one of the most progressive, thoughtful, and comprehensive regulatory frameworks for digital assets and crypto in the world. And so we were very compelled to apply. We applied for that license, a comprehensive application on May 16th, and here we are, July 22nd. And we've obviously we've received that license, and it's been a very intensive process. The Bermuda Monetary Authority, notably, Craig Swan and Moad Fahmy, played critical roles in this process. I think it's really important from our perspective that the innovation is real. Digital assets represents a fundamental shift in how the financial system is going to work everywhere for everyone. And digital assets themselves are different than traditional money or traditional securities. It's a new form of financial asset innovation. And it's been our belief that there needs to be new policies established that both embrace the innovation, but also have very strong supervisory standards and regulatory standards around them. So when we were trying to evaluate where we're going to build our international operations, we chose Bermuda for a number of reasons. And at the foundation was that innovation in the policy. And then critically also the fact that this was a regime that took its regulatory commitments very seriously. We think individuals, businesses, institutions globally want to know that the firms that they're dealing with are managing risk. And the kind of standards that the BMA applies around enterprise risk, cybersecurity risk, a thoughtful framework around digital asset custody risk, which is a completely new field, and of course financial crime risk, has very strong standards, and these are critical for the safeguarding of customer assets and interests, but also of society as a whole. And so while it is a high bar, I think, to achieve this, we think that's the right approach in this new digital and crypto-based financial services landscape. We also, I think we're very attracted to Bermuda's history as an innovator in other financial services products, including, of course, in the reinsurance market, in banking, and in other areas. And that's critical for us because a core part of the strategy here is to build our international operations. So we want to build out an organization. We expect in the next 12 to 24 months to grow to at least 30 people here, and that's going to be across a number of different areas, functions like finance, risk, compliance, customer operations, all really critical, and the talent that exists here in Bermuda already in those fields is significant. And so we're excited about our ability as a pure play fintech company to help individuals that want to move their careers forward into this area to be able to pursue that. What does this mean for Circle's customers? So we are already an international company and have millions of customers, but critically, our international customers will begin to be served out of Bermuda in the very near future. And that is going to allow us, because of the scope of the Digital Asset Business Act license, is going to allow us to significantly expand the products and services that we're able to offer to these international customers all around the world. And so there will be waves of new things that are coming from Circle that are based on the partnership here with the Bermuda government and the operations that we're building. Last but not least, I think we really do think about this as a partnership, working with governments who are progressive, thoughtful, who are agile, who want to embrace the innovation of digital assets, but want to do that in a highly collaborative way is really key. It's key for governments all around the world to learn from. And so we've been very pleased with this partnership and are very excited to get things launched in the coming weeks. So thank you very much.
It's now time for questions, but at the risk of upsetting half the island, I will have you realize that everyone up here is wearing red and blue.
Congratulations on your licensing approval today. One question for you, Premier. So the average person who may not understand international business, what fintech may be, why is it important to the average Bermudian?
Absolutely. The first reason why it's important to the average Bermudian is jobs. You're standing next to Dr. Tucker, who's been running our Fintech business education initiative, and we've been spending and invested a lot of money in training Bermudians to be ready for the jobs that are coming. So from that perspective, that's the first and most important thing. But from what you heard from my speech and a little bit from what Jeremy has shared, is that the world of finance is changing. And this is not just important for those persons who are running these companies, but it is going to change the entire landscape. So whereas, I can just give an example, where a retired person may want to invest in something that is happening in Bermuda or around the world. Before, you would have to have a $10,000 minimum. Now with crypto assets, you can invest from small amounts of even $100. It will democratize finance. It will make financial services more accessible when we talk about transferring of money between individuals in Bermuda. Payments, the fact that Circle has certain products and services that charge far less fees than what you'll have with traditional banking services. It's all of these things which we'll see, and we're encouraging that to be deployed not only globally, but of course here in this market. And that's the things that are going to actually start to mean business to the everyday Bermudian. So it's jobs, but it's also the innovations which they will bring. And Jasmine, if there's one thing I will say, I don't think that we've done a good enough job explaining what this actually means to everyday persons and individuals. We haven't. But hopefully when we're able to demonstrate products and services and people can see it for themselves, they will have a better and greater understanding. And Jeremy has said that he's committed to working with me to do some of the items which we want to do, which is open government investments, open government PPPs, open government items to investors from small people. So Bermudians can invest small amounts in these things, and it's not just open to the people that have big bank accounts.
And while today's announcement sounds very promising, were you quite disappointed with what transpired with Binance and Arbitrate?
No. I mean, the fact is that in Bermuda, we have a licensing process, and companies are allowed and are ones that have to go through the licensing process. That's what we have set out with Bermuda Monetary Authority. We've always had that set out with Bermuda Monetary Authority, and there are companies that are engaged in the licensing process as we speak. We have a very high bar, and that high bar is there for a reason. A lot of companies were hit a barrier when it came to banking services. But Circle is a different type of financial services company. And Jeremy, I don't know if you want to speak about that. Okay.
Sure. I mean, I think we believe in the high bar as well. We are one of the most licensed and regulated crypto companies in the world. We have received money transmission licenses from every U.S. state. We were the first company in the world to receive the BIT license, which is a crypto-specific policy from the Wall Street regulator, the New York Department of Financial Supervision, when that was released in 2015. We were the first crypto company to receive an e-money issuer license across the European Union. We're one of the first crypto companies to operate a regulated broker-dealer and alternative trading system in the U.S. So we've been at the forefront. And I think what we're attracted to with Bermuda, obviously, as I mentioned in my comments, was there's a high bar around supervision and licensing, which is really key because we're dealing with people's money. We're dealing with financial assets and the custody and protection of those assets and the integrity of society with financial crime and other things. So there needs to be a high bar. But the innovation of digital assets is very real. It's moving very, very fast. And so you also need to have a policy framework that is open to innovation in the space. And Bermuda is unique in the world in terms of the scope and comprehensiveness of its digital assets policy regime. And so that's part of what attracted us here. But I think to the Premier's comments that it is really critical that there's a high bar. Financial institutions are built on trust, and that kind of that fiduciary contract, if you will, it is ultimately a contract between society, government, and the institutions that are governed by it.
Okay. Good afternoon. I am being joined today by Mr. Jeremy Allaire, co-founder, CEO, and chairman of Circle. Jeremy, welcome to Bermuda.
Thank you, Premier Burt. It's a great pleasure.
Thank you. We just finished a press conference where Circle was announced as the first full license issued by the Bermuda Monetary Authority with our new digital asset business license regime. And Jeremy is going to be setting up the company in Bermuda for their international operations to serve all of their customers around the world outside of the United States. And so I would ask you, what does Bermuda have to look forward to, both in terms of Circle locally with your structure and operations here, And how can as I call Bermuda as an incubator, the entire island, what can we look forward to in the innovations to come?
Yeah, well, thank you. Obviously, we're very excited about receiving the license and getting the operations launched. Maybe I'll start just talking a little bit about, kind of crypto finance as we think about it. We started this company 6 years ago on the vision that money could work the same way that the internet works.
Absolutely.
That people, just like people everywhere, can exchange information instantly with anyone for free, can access all the world's knowledge instantly at no cost. The kind of world of information sharing, media, communications has just become this connected, integrated world with radically more efficient economics around that. And we saw that cryptocurrency and blockchains could do the same thing for the global financial system and economic systems. So fast forward to 6 years, the technology behind all these digital assets, this blockchain technology, has been just proliferating incredibly fast. Even recent announcements like projects coming out of Facebook and others are really indicators that in the next 2 or 3 years that this is going to be, cryptocurrency is going to be a technology that every person everywhere is going to begin to be able to interact with. And the promise of that is that more people can participate in economic activity more easily. Yep. That businesses everywhere are going to be more easily able to raise capital. Mm-hmm. That people who want to invest into businesses everywhere are going to be able to more easily invest into businesses. And that connecting in world economic activity is going to be easier for everyone. So these are like the big, profound things that we think this enables. And I think for us, having a progressive and forward-leaning policy like the Digital Asset Business Act is incredibly attractive because the technical innovation that's happening is moving fast, and the kind of scope and definition of financial services that DABA defines is sufficiently broad that I think it can keep up with the innovation, but also have strong supervisory standards. So for one, I think just all of this capability is going to be more readily available to more people everywhere, including to Bermudians.
And so I guess one of the reasons that you chose Bermuda was because it allows you, as you said in the press conference, to expand the products and services that you're going to be able to offer to your customers globally. Do you have any insight into what those may be, and if what they may actually be mean for Bermudians here?
Sure. I think we have a number of different products today. Mm-hmm. The first major product that we're moving all the international customer base to out of Bermuda is our exchange, okay. Poloniex. So that's really a place for individuals and institutions that want to trade and invest in these digital assets. Mm-hmm. So that's really kind of an investment platform. That's the first. We also, there are a couple of really key things. We want to ultimately create ways for companies that are using tokens, these digital assets, as a new type of investment contract or as a new type of tool to run a business, to be able to issue those and launch those on our platform. Absolutely. And so that's very much part of what we intend to bring is an expansion in the number of assets that we can launch directly from our platform. And that's going to be an opportunity for businesses here as well as businesses around the world. And then I think the bigger vision for us is we really see a world where there are new kinds of retail financial accounts that people can have. And those might look, feel, and smell like a bank account, but they're all built on digital assets. And so the ability to store value, transmit value, i.e. payments, the ability to save, invest, borrow, lend, the kind of verbs, as I say, of finance, you're going to be able to do those entirely using cryptocurrency and entirely using crypto financial products. And we want to build products like that for people everywhere, all around the world. And I think those are services that Bermudians will be able to take advantage of, and hopefully eventually hundreds of millions of people around the world as well.
Now, I think that the people who may be looking at us on CITV right now are wondering, what does that mean for them? And so I guess I would try to answer, does that mean lower fees?
Yeah, I mean, I think if you think about the way the internet has delivered value in other areas, we can buy and sell products with more inventory more easily, get delivered to us more easily. We can communicate for free, we can access more content more freely, we can share our opinions more freely. All these things have sort of lowered cost, increased access in very significant ways. And so the same principles we think are going to apply here with financial services. So things that maybe you were charged fees for in the past will just be free services, just like we have free email. We'll have free payments. I think the cost of money, which is the interest rate people pay, I think we believe because of this kind of technology can become lower and lower and lower. And people who need capital are going to have more efficient ways to source that capital from a global marketplace of capital that is built entirely on crypto assets. So I think it's all those things, become more readily available. The internet enables what people call the long tail. So an individual can advertise their own personal services products on Google and reach a targeted buyer. Anyone in the world can set up a shop on Amazon or Alibaba and sell their products. We think the same kind of open marketplace will exist for finance. Absolutely. And that creates more opportunities for individuals and businesses.
And that's also opportunities for entrepreneurs here in Bermuda who may be looking to raise money now, who right now have to go to banks. There may be other ways for them to raise money. Yeah,
we envision sort of internet capital markets that are more like the marketplaces that we have for content and advertising and goods and services on the internet, but really in this world of money.
So as Circle's looking to set up their international operations here, what does that mean for Bermudians and jobs, and what type of jobs should Bermudians be getting prepared for, or the type of things that you'll be looking to have the operations here in Bermuda?
Yeah, so I think the immediate focuses are things like finance, because we are a financial company. And we need the right level of kind of business supervision. Core parts of operating an international business like this, risk management, compliance in all the different dimensions of compliance, customer operations, dealing with and handling complex customer issues. And it's sort of moving from the world of traditional financial products, whether that's banking and insurance or whatnot, and into this world of crypto finance. It's a different set of things. It's much more software based. There's different types of things that one needs to learn, but it's those are some of the areas. We'll be opening trading operations here as well, which is basically traders of digital assets and supporting trading with other parties around the world. So those are some of the immediate focuses.
Okay. And your plan, as you mentioned, was to over the next 2 years, you're looking to scale up to about 30 people here locally.
That's right. That's the plan, and I think. The kinds of roles that we can, hire here can scale with the general scaling and development of the business as well. And so, I think if we do move from, today, digital assets are, involve maybe tens of millions of people around the world. We think in the next 2 to 3 years, hundreds of millions of people will be involved. And then within, certainly the next 3 to 5 billions of people will be involved. What market share of that can we have? I don't know, but I think if we're successful, that will, create a lot of demand for our services, and that's going to involve, demand for scaling our operations here.
Absolutely. So we've known each other for about 6 months. We met in the World Economic Forum. I friendly say that I was stalking you at the end of one of your sessions, but it was a target that we wanted to at least let Circle know that Bermuda was certainly an option, and we're pleased that over the past 6 months we've managed to get you here and setting up business, and we look forward to having you as a partner in the Bermuda ecosystem and look forward for many good years to come.
Deeply appreciated, Premier Burt. It's been a great privilege getting to know you and partnering with the government.
Excellent. Welcome to Bermuda.
Thank you.
Water conservation tips with Mr. Drippy.
You know, Mr. Drippy, by taking shorter showers, you'll save a lot of water and your beautiful singing voice.
Conserve your water. Water conservation tips with Mr. Drippy.
You know, Mr. Drippy, by washing full loads of laundry, you'll save a lot of water and probably find more matching socks.
Conserve your water.
This is CITV, the Government of Bermuda Television.